Good evening and welcome to the Poets Cafe, the art of conversation. It is where artists comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creations of hidden treasure, expressing tones or lyrics felt within the soul, a vibration that brings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds through various forms of expression, including writers, singers, spoken word artists, and those engaging in artistic expression through painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities to the mind of all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, where birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the call of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the skies, and dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome to the Arts of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to embark on a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now let's get started.
Let's get started. If it is Thursday, it must be Poetically Speaking with yours truly, Terry Benjamin, and my brother here, Ronald C. McCrae. Again, we come to you in the spirit of Gil Noble. We'll talk about a little later on. But today's agenda, what's in a name? And by that I mean that we have a name that we were born with, and if we're lucky, we will develop a name that people can respect. And sometimes the name is given to us by other people who see qualities in us that we don't see in ourselves. And sometimes there are people who have a name as an alter ego. They may be a shy person, but when they get into this alter ego, it's a different thing. Like we have Beyonce, then we have Sasha Fierce, and again, which is her public persona. And so what's in the name? What's in the name? What does your name stand for? What does your name mean to you? What does your name mean to other people? So what's in the name? So we're going to interrogate that a little bit more. I have a quote today. We call the quote of the day. And this is from Serena Williams, who is a tennis icon. And it says here, I don't have regrets. I don't live in the past. I live in the present and learn not to make the same mistake in the future. And that's Serena Williams, a tennis icon, a tennis great. She's accomplished things in that sport that was impossible. But again, she has gone down in history as one of the best, her and her sister Venus Williams. But as always, we welcome you to our platform. We welcome you to the program. And we start with a special presentation. And we call it Ron's Poetry because it's the poetry of Ronald C. McCrae. And as always, he brings us something that I don't know where he gets this from. I'm still mystified, but I see him scribbling. So you have to understand there's some things that we talked about last week that he probably is going to bring forward this week in poetry. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you Ronald C. McCrae, Ron's Poetry. So what you got for us today?
Oh, I always create something, try to figure out something. One of the most important things, always be ye ready.
That's right.
So everybody who went to church or heard about it, be ready.
Be ready.
I don't care what you do, but get ready. I don't care how you do it, but get ready because you never know when you might be called upon.
That's right.
So the bottom line is if we pick somebody out in the audience, you better be ready to come on this show. Right. So once again, raise your hand. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to continue with this by saying, what's interesting is that, and I'm saying this out of total respect, and I want everybody at the sound of my voice, our voice, to really understand that the importance of understanding and knowing that the name you have given, that was given, or the names you've given to your child or somebody, have the meaning and understanding by which it originated from. That's important because, again, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm straight up.
Please.
Because a lot of names that's given has a dark side. But if you don't understand that, then it's important that the child, when the child is traumatized because somebody make fun of their name, then at least you should be able to back it up and tell that child the importance. You are somebody. You're about somebody. This name represents something. Because everybody who believes in God or a higher power have given a name for something positive and nothing negative. But in society, as we all know, people have names that represent the dark side, thinking they're doing something positive. But the bottom line is, like I said, I'm saying this out of respect. So nevertheless, don't call them crucifying us, okay? But let me just read this first before I read something. And I wanted to come back to what we often present, you know, this book here, The Gospel of Good Success. Because we talk about, you know, how we get started, what motivates us, and those who may write in, those who are thinking, writers or whatever, you think about who am I? What can I do? Well, the Gospel of Good Success, you know, it's about inspiring you. And in one of the books I have, The Archaeological Cafe, the hidden treasure deep within inside yourself. But you have to go inside of you and have that conversation. I don't know who you are on the inside. I can't go on the inside. And people on the outside can only speculate and traumatize you even more, telling you, well, girl, man, you just don't know. No. Take time, think about who you are. But let me just read a little bit of this. It's a lot, but I just want to give you a little bit. This one, what were you born to do? What were you born to do in life? And this is, as a pastor, I have heard the question asked repeatedly, this central question of life. In our church, we spend a lot of time identifying spiritual gifts, God-given gifts, talent, and confidence that the individual members can bring to serve God and our church. But in discovering their spiritual gift, scores of our members have invariably been led on to new and expansive careers paths they could not imagine before. The philosopher Thomas Carlyle called finding our purpose, and we talked about that before. To find out what kind of work he or she is to do in the universe, Carlyle wrote, work is a primary activity of living. Like it or not, we spend more hours on our job than in any other activity. If the work that literally consumes your days is unsatisfying, unrewarding, and unfilling, then the other areas of your life will probably follow suit. And that's one of the biggest issues. And I just want to read a little bit of this because I don't want to take up time because we got a special guest. And believe me, I'm excited.
I am too.
If you believe your career isn't connected to every area of your existence, just consider 3 of the infinite areas of unfulfilling life can destroy. Mental state, health, and the child rearing. And those are reality. Those are facts. Because in the mental state, you can lose your mind. A lot of people do that because they get frustrated, irritated, aggravated, no matter how you look at it.
That's right. That's right.
You know, your health starts to decline. You know, you forget about who you are and what you was brought here to do. And child rearing. Well, men or women, doesn't matter. Yes, I cannot begin to imagine, you know, being pregnant. But the bottom line is, I feel the pain if I'm a caring father or a man of anyone who helped bring a child into the world. It's a responsibility because all of us was there. We only repeating what our ancestors had to go through. And then, believe me, I got slapped upside the head, but I straightened up quick. So I just want to stop there with that. The gospel of good success. You have it. It's there. Let me read this. The dysfunctional excuse. Dysfunctional disability is defined by the inability to think, feel, or act based on emotion arising from the belief that life has mistreated you. This results in a malfunction that stops you from going beyond your inner capacity to think clearly and pursue your dream despite any disability. What is a disability? Moving through life stages is like riding a roller coaster on a twisted track, sliding into empty space where life lacks direction to pinpoint what causes the malfunction or why you feel inadequate in your sense of being. Notice a renewal of energy to create a new you. Ask yourself, who am I? The ability to shift from a state of weakness to one of the self-strength allows a person to reach a higher level of capabilities, making it easier to navigate life's challenges, much like riding a surfboard. The cause or lifestyle carries no burden. What can be achieved if the chain are removed from the same burden that once held you back? One adopts a mindset like a mop dragged across a rough surface without detergent, wiping out all hope of bacteria surviving. Then how does one keep moving forward without thinking about future success? Where the driving force is in the hands of the conductor to control the thinking pattern, own engineer. Control the narrative and reflect on a time when someone woke up confused about their direction in a conversation. They need to learn to stay calm and remain hopeful. The burden will not fail if the disaster repeats all possibilities that cannot be changed, and it will not alter the pain without misalignment for the soul to endure. So, stop making excuses, and being dysfunctional will not serve as a refuge for self-ignorance.
Yes.
So, that's so important when you think about it. Dysfunctional excuses. And this, as we always talk about, not taking away. We do not believe in treading on the reality of those who have a unfortunate disability in that sense. We're not talking about that. We talk about the ones who stand around, walk around, complain about everything under the sun, but won't do anything. So those are dysfunctional excuses in your thinking. Stop doing that. You will not find yourself walking around in circles. And just in short, those who know and heard and read and whatever the case would be, it's like the children of Israel roaming around in a circle. They were supposed to go into the promised land that was supposed to have taken them 2 weeks, a couple of days to 2 weeks. And yet they complain. They complain like hell because where they was at, they said, well, we had it made then. But if you had it made then, why would you complain it? So God set you free into a place to prepare you to go into the freedom land, the promised land, for your freedom. And yet you complain so much, he allowed you to roam around for 40 years until you got dizzy and realized, wait a minute, we've been here before. That's right. You're still following yourself going in circle. Stop causing your own self to become dizzy and realize where your freedom is. It's forward, moving forward. So I wanted to say that because it's so important.
It's very important.
Really, I'd like to really move forward if my brother and whatnot, because I have one piece I'd like to save for when we near our closing, and that's important too, because I always try to have something for our closing, and I think the time we have is to spend with our guests today. Yes. And as we always say, our guests, we respect titles and position, but here on this show, we always identify everyone as our brother and sister. So even as I present and introduce her, to you, I will also let everyone know that I have already received the permission. And if I haven't or I forgot, naturally I stand my own being accused.
I stand accused.
So I want to really stop and read a little bit of her background, okay, before we really go back and introduce her before she come on. So to give you a little taste. And matter of fact, I want to tie into something afterwards. Okay. So, Zweena Still. And again, if I pronounce anything or mispronounce anything, I will be corrected, and that's what it's all about. It's how do we lift each other up. We're not here to crucify. Edwin Simon, known as Mahogany Soul, is an emergency spoken word artist hailing from Newark, New Jersey. Her passion for words was ignited in the vibrant urban landscape. Her debut book, Serena Still, is available, and her chapbook, Peronia, is forthcoming. As host of Ebony Radio's The Juke Joint and Self-Care Sundays, She collaborated with fellow poets, including Dr. Torrid St. Sankofa and Nate Senior. Mahogany is also a regular contributor with the Honey Drippers Poetry Collective and has performed at notable events, including Newark's When Women Speak, the Lincoln Park Music Festival, and the John F. Kennedy Center's 24 Hours apiece. Inspired by the legacy of Amari Baraka, and again, that's a poet from yesterday. I say yesterday because he is a legend in his time, and you can see it on the back wall, and you can see that. Mahogany seeks to give voice to women who feel unheard. I come from a long line of strong, phenomenal women. In grieving their silence, I find healing and a way to share our stories. I feel blessed to be heard. So with that, and I just want to read this piece to add to, but I look at it as a positive. Serena still rising, moving against all odds towards her freedom, to express the glory of who she was, gifted to be. Who is Serena? Still, she is to me. And at this time, we're going to introduce our sister, Serena Still.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right. So again, you can see her here as EDWINA Simmons, okay? And again, we glad to have you here. I want to steal something from your Facebook page.
Okay.
Not to embarrass you, but you might be able to relate. And it says here, the name EDWINA means angel eyes. Mm-hmm. You were brought up to be honest, but stubbornly independent, with a heart bigger than the sun. People with this name hide their pain behind a beautiful smile and never stop fighting for their family's happiness. You are the kind of woman who gives without expecting anything in return, even when you have nothing else to give. Your only weakness, you care too much for others. Does that describe you, EDWINA Simmons?
Yeah, sounds like some titles are trying to outrun.
she reluctantly confesses.
Yes.
But that's from your Facebook page, and I'm sure you chose that for a reason, right?
Yeah, expression. That is something that I can commonly relate to. Yeah, indeed. But yeah.
And the beautiful thing about you is that, there are those who know you as EDWINA Simmons, but there are also those who know you as Mahogany Soul. Mm-hmm. So who is Mahogany Soul?
Mahogany Soul is, I guess she is my alter ego. Because most people know me. I'm soft-spoken. I am quiet. I'm a lot introverted for the most part, but I feel like my poetic side is kind of emotions that I've needed to express for so long that they just kind of, they come out of me in a way that is very different from my normal self. So yeah, she is she's a survivor. She is she's very strong. She has a love for words. She is the member of a two-person society. We call ourselves the Society of Antiquated Words.
Wow.
Myself and my friend, we like to just take opportunities to introduce words into the language that are no longer used anymore. And I love to do that in poetry. And I just, expression. When I started out, I said I want to speak for the women with no voices because I felt like I was one of them at a time. So now Mahogany Soul is my human expression of that side of myself.
Do you remember the first time that you read your poetry in public?
Yes. I was shaking like a leaf. It was with, a poet named Godson. He holds a space in Newark that is amazing. It's called the Cry Out Cave. Wow. And in the beginning, he says, poetry is my release. And in that, I got up there and I was shaking like a leaf, but nothing was ever the same. I felt the need to. So I thank him for that space. And people like Ameerah, Shabazz has also given me a lot of opportunities, and they've encouraged and grown that side of me. Like, yes, what you have to say is important and it matters. So, you know, I work towards strengthening that voice for myself as well. Yeah.
Now you have 2 books that you've written and that you produce. So what was your first book?
It's called Zweena Still, and a collection of poetry and poems on the subject of becoming. And like I was telling you, it's basically a collaboration of poems that I've written over the years, just basically. I kind of felt like, and I explained it at the beginning of the book, it was like me talking to myself, talking myself out of dark places, talking myself through things that were difficult and putting them into a language that was mostly for myself. But, you know, I put them all together into a collection that I felt like, because after that first performance, I felt like maybe I wasn't speaking to everyone, but there was someone in that audience and who responded to me in a way that I didn't expect. She was crying, and she was like, you know, goodness, I felt seen, and I started crying, and it just felt like, you know, we represent a segment, no matter how small, even if we get 1% of the population who can actually relate to everything that we went through, we get to speak for that person. So I felt like that collection was a talk through that I needed, and hopefully someone else can understand. The name Zweena was given to me by a fella from Morocco. He owned a business in my old neighborhood, and every time he saw me, he would go, Zweena, Zweena, it's so good to see you. And I always thought he was just pronouncing my name wrong. Until one day he said, no, do you know why I call you Zweena? And I'm like, no, why? And he was like, because Zweena means beautiful, and I think you're beautiful. Because I would come in the morning with my kids going to school, and, you know, and I'm like, I didn't feel it. I'm like, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. But once I got to the point where I was writing this collection, it's like, beautiful still. In spite of all of these things that you went through, there's still a beauty inside of you. And maybe it isn't, you know, the commonplace thing, but, it, you know, presented, and it is meant for someone, you know.
That's beautiful. Now, that's the first book. Now, what was the second book?
Pronoia. Yeah. Pronoia is the name. Missouri, you are loved. And I always tell people that pronoia is a word that means essentially the opposite of paranoia, right? Because paranoia is everyone's out to get you. Pronoia is everything is working out in your favor at the end of the day. And my belief in that is guided me out of some really dark places, and the poems I put in that collection are an expression of that. So, yeah.
Okay, now those who are watching, you know, who regularly watch Poetically Speaking, I'm going to take our guest to another level, because she talked about her first 2 books, but I'll give you a preview. You're working on a 3rd book.
I am.
Okay, give us a little bit about it. Just a little bit, just a little teaser, okay?
A teaser. My 3rd book is called The Grief Eater, and as I was explaining to you earlier, in 2018, I lost my daughter to suicide, and coming back from that is not anything that anyone can ever talk you through, but it can consume you, or you can consume it. So essentially, these poems are just speaking to that, like how to alchemize your grief, how to alchemize pain, and ways that I've learned to do that, and how I see the world now that I've kind of taken that responsibility in my own hands instead of being the victim of this. How do I mend all the wounds left behind this? How do we heal? How do I heal my family? How do we wake up from the state of thinking that we're just everything's fine? It's seldom ever fine. But if you don't give voice to it and then take and work with that pain, it can consume you. So that book is my conversation through that, and that's what I write through personally.
Well, that is so powerful, and the thing is, see, we need that book. That's the kind of book that we need, and it's so funny because again, what's in the name?
Right.
Okay, a lot of people know they might have heard the name Sylvester Stewart, and people say, yeah, well, you know Sylvester Stewart. No, I don't know Sylvester Stewart, but you know Sly Stone, right? Okay, and so that's the way it is. What's in the name? What's in the book? We have a segment in our program what we call Mind, Body, and Books. And in that segment, I usually bring at least 2 books from my personal library. And I'm proud to say that I have this book in my library. As a matter of fact, yes, this was my first introduction to you. You have some poems in there that I find amazing. And so the name of the anthology is Whisper, Whisper, Shout, a When Women Speak anthology, authored by Women Speak, edited by Ameerah Shabazz-Bilal. And again, this is a beautiful book. You know, it's a beautiful book. And I extend the invitation. Any woman who is in this book is welcome to be on the Poetically Speaking podcast. It is an open invitation. You come in 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. I don't care. Just come in.
They come up in a bus.
Yes. Because again, these words are so powerful. And my brother Ron and I always say that, you know, when we talk about male and female relationships, it's a dialogue. It's not a monologue. We have to speak to each other. You have to speak to me, and I have to speak to you, and we have to understand each other.
Indeed.
Okay, and so that's why, you know, we just on this note, that's why we have all these beautiful women come onto the program. Okay, so we can engage in this dialogue, and that's what it is. Because one of the things as we went through this program, as we developed this program, one of the things my brother always talks about is the art of conversation, and when we're about that. And the second book that I want to present under the segment of Mind, Body, and Books is one of my favorite books, and this is from one of my favorite people. And this is a book called Black is the Color of My TV Tube by 4-time Emmy Award winner Gil Noble. Okay? And when we offered this program in the spirit of Gil Noble, those of you who are out there, been around for a little while, you know, in 1967, there was a program called Like It Is that was hosted by Brother Gil Noble. And I tell you, you know, this was must-see TV. You know, it was what we call appointment TV. If this show was on Saturday at 2 o'clock, you got to be there, okay? Because right now, you can watch it on YouTube anytime. But back in the day, when you had like 4 or 5 channels, you had to be there and watch the program because you never knew when you would see it again. And so Like It Is by Gil Noble is inspiration for this program and for what we do. Now, this book here was written in 1981. So it's really going back because it's so funny because when I was thinking about this program, I was thinking about calling it Like It Is Now, following in the footsteps of Brother Gil Noble. And I just want to share this with you because, again, we talk about what's in the name. What's in the name can inspire many, many people. And this is from the book, Black is the Color of My TV Tube by Brother Gil Noble. And this is from chapter 9. And he talks about one of his favorite people, a gentleman who inspired him. Now, we talk about Amiri Baraka, how he inspired you, and he inspired me as well. So here, chapter 9, it says here, Malcolm X continues to dominate my thoughts and deeds, though in unexpected ways. Malcolm had many principles that I have adopted in order to improve myself. First, he was a believer in punctuality. This may seem a trivial thing, but it has now come to mean a great deal to me. Punctuality is a standard in the Like It Is office. It has been good discipline for the staff and me to be on time, and it builds a secure sense of responsibility needed to cope with the urgencies of time in our business. Malcolm was a passionate reader. I was never turned on to reading during my school years, but I have developed my facility for reading because there is now a purpose to it. Reading has helped me to become a more effective at what I do. Reading can help anyone, no matter what they do. Though the means I can find people in history who have similar problems to mine, studying how these individuals solve their problems helped me to solve my own. As my knowledge has increased, my ego has decreased proportionately. Knowledge is the mother of humility and makes one realize how little is really known overall. Some people have misused knowledge by studying how to perfect ways to enslave and dominate others. To become these people, one must be equipped with more and better knowledge. So again, Gil Noble, Malcolm X, he said Malcolm was a reader. I mean, I consider that one of my my superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
I read the books. Okay, people talk about the books. I read these books. And punctuality. I believe in being on time.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a college professor, I was there an hour before class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if I was on time, then I was late. And it's so funny. Quick story. I remember I was teaching at Jersey City State University, and I had an 8 o'clock class. To get to there, I had to leave Broadway at 5 o'clock to go to the train station, and then go to General Square. And the General Square, take a bus to the campus. Make a long story short, I'm in the classroom, Ron, and I'm writing on the board my lesson for the day. And then they were saying that there may be a storm that may be developing. And I said, well, look, I don't have time to listen to that. So I'm writing on the board, and the janitor comes into the classroom. He said, Professor Benjamin, what are you doing here? I said, I have a class at 8 o'clock. Professor Benjamin, there's going to be a major blizzard, and the school is closed. I said, oh.
Oh,
I said, thank you. So I raised the board, packed my stuff, took the bus to the Journal Square, then to North Penn Station, back to Broadway. But I share this because punctuality. We got to be on time, because I do believe that to be on time is to get the blessings that you're deserving. And before I unleash you with your poetry, I want to go back to my brother. And because we're ladies and gentlemen, you're about to hear some beautiful words from a beautiful sister. But before we get into that, what say you, my brother, about punctuality and about my role models? Are role models? Do you have a role model? Is anybody that you in your past that sort of inspired you in any kind of way?
Absolutely.
What's in the name, brother?
And I'm getting to that one too.
Oh, look out!
We all have somebody who inspired, and then we also have somebody who tried to kill the hell out of you. And unfortunately, we try to stay on the positive side, because those who wailed on you taught you something, and those who rose up to today in the Bible, and I think it's Proverbs, 22:6. Raise up a child the way you want him to go. When they get older, they won't depart from. Which means that we are sitting here remembering what was done to us, but we're not expressing it in a horrible way. We have learned. That's why we are here. But I want to say a couple of things in short, because this is important. And I don't take this lightly, okay? But I'm not going to get into it, but I'm only just want to do a tab of it based on what our guests, our sisters shared. There's no way, shape, form, or fashion anybody could ever imagine what a person experienced when they lose somebody, no matter how they lost them. And so when people say, well, I understand, I know what you're going through. No, the hell you don't, because everybody's shoe print is totally different.
That's right.
I might be able to put your shoes on, but those prints have a DNA of scars unimaginable. How long they last is up to the individual, between him or her and their spirituality, their relationship. And unfortunately, as sad as it is, too many do not recover. But this is what the art of conversation. This is why gathering together is so important, to dialogue, to laugh, to bring joy, motivation, inspiration to somebody, no matter how you look at it. Right. Because sitting in the corner, complaining and gossip does not bring the sun to anybody who's trying to live in darkness. Light came from darkness. And everybody, I don't care what religion, what background, light comes from darkness. Turn the lights up, and your ass sitting in dark, and now you're screaming and crying, complaining. What happened to the light?
That's right.
Well, guess who's in control? See, there's a higher power. So let me get right to this. Even as you expressed, Gilmore was so important, and also with Tony Brown Journal, which is another one.
That's right, yeah.
And let me say this, too, in short. And I'm saying this real short. Suicide. Two sides. One out of pain, because you can't begin to imagine what that person has experienced. And the other one is out of suicide, because they're guilty of committing a crime. You see, but we look at the ones, because as we know, Smokey Robinson, Tears of a Clown, you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know how they're feeling. So that's why, if nothing else, at least a hello, how you doing embracement, because that one moment, that 1 second could change the whole direction of how somebody thinks.
Okay.
Let me read this. What's in the name? It's interesting because what came to me is that when you was mentioned with our last guest, and even today, and on Ruby Shabazz show, she mentioned what's in the name. And I started searching and looking. I said, wait a minute, I heard that before. And so here, I put this together. This was written, I think, back in 2017. when Roosevelt. I walk softly, and matter of fact, this is from a different perspective, but still under the same umbrella. What's in the name? I walk softly, move slowly, step high and step low. Baby crying, daddy lying, hustle and bustle. They want to teach me. How are you doing, miss? What's your name? And can I take you? It's all the same. What's in the name? Billboards, spotlights, I wish and I dream, wondering and staring, they look above and ask you how. Your presence is faint, your words are loud. What's in the name? Does it matter if it's all the same? Do I look like I know you? I am certified, qualified, sanctified, individual, and I shout hallelujah. What's in the name? I say, you say what? Hi, goodbye, how are you doing? I wave my hand and say, can I help you, please? Brother, have a seat. Let me tell you a story. My life has never changed. Baby, I like your style. Brother, you got game. What's in the name? Does it matter? I look tall, short, big, or small, moving my hips, kneeling near the floor. No, no, no. Climbing the mountains isn't where it's at. Surveying the landscape gives me more to explore, even deep down in the core. How deep you go doesn't impress me. Where you roam, no one knows. What's in the name? I need words that are letters, clips, and shout into joy and peace, but never wrong. Time is precious, I know. The train is late, so it's time to go. Babies crying, daddies whining, slipping and sliding. Are you buying or just shuckling and jiving? What's in the name? So, what's in the name? And what has changed since then and now? Respect has faded, and conversation no longer involves dating. As the wind shifts, so does the quality of socialization. Hello has become ignored on the doorsteps even before the bell is rung without a goodbye. What's in the name to mean anything to you?
Wow, it's powerful. What's in the name?
What's in the name?
Yeah, give me here, yeah, because it made the brother feel good. At this point, really, poetically speaking, is presenting Mahogany Soul in concert. Is it you, sister?
Yes, thank you.
Our sister.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are you going to read for us?
Okay, we're getting started. Like I said, a lot of what I write is about the voice. Okay. So I have a couple of pieces that kind of speak to that. The first, it goes, in therapy, I sometimes get paranoid, and I hear them listening the way clever foxes do hen houses, just salivating over the fat bottom fodder of my life in shambles, and still I speak. In memorial to all those unsaid things, I speak like the Savannah red dirt my mother craved when I was a babe did coat my tongue. And if I'd only open up my mouth, the soil would find sun, and the alchemy of exposure be the perfect bed for the rock rose that is the remarkable display of me. I mean, don't the graveyard got as much dirt as the garden? Can the soot be used for more than just covering up the dying? Can we take the pain and repurpose it into words on purpose? Ain't that an earnest offering? Yes, I suffered, but I survived, and now I get to thrive, or in the very least, I'll scream for help until help should arrive. My friend Rare said that my soul still tethered to bone is the art. It's a brilliant expression of war scars. My honest voice is unique. It's an audible display of self. All I have to do is speak. It is my voice that makes me brave, and I'll speak until the walls shake, and speak as if my story be in my name, and my name be these ancient hieroglyph cliff notes reminding young girls of the power of that chakra in your throat. I speak. And he writes notes, and I speak All the while believing my secrets to be nothing more than the missing pieces needed for his next thesis. I speak until my time is up. I gather my pieces and I leave. But I find myself in a place of bliss I couldn't possibly believe. You see, I am merely the primordial ooze of a butterfly in between, enjoying the process of this breaking. So this ain't suffering. I get to speak until my ancestors are speaking up for me. And that's a piece.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Continue, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. Shouts out to Ameerah, Shabazz, and the wonderful collection of women we call When Women Speak. I thank her for the anthology and the opportunity to be a part of some ferociously strong women. This is my title piece in that collection. Grab it. It's on Amazon and wherever you can catch one of us. It's called No Woman, No More. He wanna love me, but I'm not even a woman no more. His eyes seem to swoon at the swan of my neck, indifferent to the tarnish of the cheap chains that no longer dangle here, but I guess all my womanliness sloughed off with the scrubbing. I'm not a woman. I'm what happened when women find the fire in their pharaoh. I am a full embrace of my own wild ways. I'm a paper thumbnail moon folded away with the pocket change, but I'm not even a woman no more. And now I see new free in the green where the change used to be. He said he want to make me smile, but I'm smiling all the while. Honey child, I got freedom caught in the sun. In my teeth, I'm so free already. But his eyes light up with lies like something in the wind whispered and told him that these rolling hills aren't spoken for. Now he endeavors to speak for him like a man, yet he can barely understand that the twirl of my unruly curls spell that girl is free. In cursive, he recoiled as if it was a curse and not a spelling. He said, girl, go comb your hair and put a lip on, put on some undergarments, hold your body parts accountable like a woman. But I'm not one. I am a barefoot $5 witch with a sprig of sassafras between her teeth. I am the callus on the bottom of Harriet's feet and the reincarnation of the great Calafia. I am Umoja in Sumburu, the blessed soul of Lolo Soli. I stopped being a woman when my body became a movement, and my body is a movement already. I'm a sort of dirty dance with destiny. I am singing. My throat has lost its albatross. It costs a lot. But I'm free now. But somehow, he sees the corner of my smile as in need of kisses, and this weary neck is a good crest to lay a forever. In his eyes, he finds a sensual Serengeti sunrise to lay weight at his feet. When he met me, he thought he met a woman. But I'm not one. No more. And that's called No Woman, No
Wow.
More.
That's powerful.
I got lost.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Please continue. I want to get as much as we can of you.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Pronoia. This is the poem, the title poem for the book.
Oh, great.
Here. It's available on Amazon or where you see me. Pronoia. A honey heaven inhabited her petals before she ever even knew it. It seasons her sweet with the powdered sugar perfection, and she didn't even know it. This fleur-de-lis deliciousness was built into the building blocks of a peace that she could only reason peacefully. A peacefully easy and secret, but she was the love of those light beings. Dark-skinned prayers controlled her tongue before she ever even knew it. It glued faithful I love you hallelujahs in a fiat currency backed by nothing more valuable than a black dream that's been broke up like so much black love, just akin to a hope, more fodder for suckers to suckle on in supplication with no real faith in the invisible wings of black things that are unseen intentionally, so you never even know it. That's why you never even know it. This life being one constant state of show me, Missouri, you are loved, though I guess based on what's shown, you'd hardly even know it. You see, black love is such a sacred thing. It's the feared dark magic. It's been fragmented and frayed. It's foregone and fighting. It's flighty and flagrant. It's full out and festering. It's a good fast away from mastery. It's feeling fleeting, though it inhabits the very fabric of the thing we black folk bring into balance. You'd hardly even know it. You see, we are literally losing our feet, dulled by too sweet, like we ain't some plump sugar babies, full up on watermelon juice, like we ain't the very fruit of this thing. But your black skin is akin to a currency. Did you know it? The sun feeds us like we are the very light beings, while attempting to scorch away the non-melanated got them so uncomfortable they want to burn away the sun. Did you know it? And this here, all lamb's wool like Jesus, is connected to the ether, feeding our depleted vitamin D. Did you know it? And you could literally change the trajectory of your day by getting outside and getting some of God's given sun on your face. Did you ever even know it? Light beings, why do you think things seem to find a way to make you forget yourself? You know, roots and foods are intended to be medicine instead of just a belly full. Did you know it? Your frequency is affected by the words and music you tune into. Did you know it? The spelling of your child's name is a spell spoken each time they are called upon. Did you know it? But if you did, I'd hardly even know it. I mean, this is one constant state of show me, baby Missouri. You are loved in a way you may need to remember, with a bank full of something that feels like fools glued to faithful I love you hallelujahs in a fiat currency that's backed by nothing you can prove. But can you get used to a faith without proof until it comes into fruit? Can you know it already? In the inner way hope of your show me soul, do you know the honey heaven that inhabits your petals already? Though it's been haphazardly handed and hurriedly hindering hindsight, it's still a highlight holding a heresy of heralding hope in hollowed hands that have been praying over you at a distance in a tongue that is so silent it seasons the breeze in praise. Ashe, it is done, if only you can know it. You see that girl right there is gilded and golden before she ever even knew it. It seasoned her sweet with a powdered sugar perfection, and she didn't even know it. This fleur-de-lis deliciousness was built into the building blocks of this peace that she could only reason peacefully in secret. But she was the love of those light beings. Baby, can you know it? With the pronoia that the world aspires to design things to the delight of God and in your favor, and you don't even know it. That's that piece.
Let me just say this, okay? Ameerah Baraka, Amina Baraka, Nikki Giovanni, Maya Angelou are shining down on you, sister. Okay, okay, and in our community, the Aretha Foster Brahms, she says, such a strong woman. Monty Bibliophile says, beautiful poetry.
Thank you so much.
Dina Robinson says, this sister is phenomenal. You're awesome.
I appreciate you.
Monty Bibliophile, he has these 5 emojis. Dina Robinson says, speak, sister, speak.
Thank you.
Continue.
So much.
We got to get a little bit more.
Okay.
You got some more for us?
Yes.
All right.
All right. So this poem is called Sukihana the River Sprite.
Oh.
And this one's it gets a little gutter. I hope a couple of words that are...
Well, the kids are at the room. You know?
Okay.
We're grown folks here.
Okay. It's hard to heal in the heat of summer. Even the sun has a weapon, and the sky is an overbearing lover. So the children play in the river. It was never shallow, but wound deep. Still, the watchful women stand nearby. You see, these children's are the drowning kind at the shallow end. The handsome girl cried as she birthed her baby into a tainted pool full of tears. Waters meant only to run through, never deep or moving enough to cleanse. An invalidated baptism or a mock drowning, depending on the regards of the lip unburdened in the recollection. Either way, the girl child would be scrubbing away the stain for years as her disdain for her living state perfumed the air, so threatening the flies had begun collecting. You see, from her flowed an unceasing monochromatic rainbow. It appeared to be blood, but it seldom ever was. It was much too tacky and sacred sweet. So say if the troglodyte heavy-handed enough to take a bite, too bright and staining, painting a prideful passageway down her leg, her body bloomed before she blossomed. If you let tall tales tell it, it poured in rivers. They said sis had a white liver and a tongue they were quite sure forked into two, simultaneously tickling taint and lapping at earlobes. Good Lord, it had to be something in them waters, something tainted, permeating seed and fermenting fresh fruit, something too easy eased its way into her DNA. She had a flow, but it's like the river ran the wrong way or the opposite swirl of a foreign toilet, depending on the perspective of those recalling it. See, a narrow tube mind and a heart that big will ever be the recipe for over-friendly pussies. Ooh. And it's wild how they sprout up zealous like a come-hither patch of pussy willows, fit to put unruly menfolk to sleep. I mean, what could be sweeter than bedding a bed of flowers good for a laying? But the girl and the child and their foremothers had laid conjoined foot to head in an amalgamated mess of scantily dressed sugar bushes, rocking all the accoutrement of the finest of hoochie mamas, their roots interwoven and hung into a makeshift covenant of what must be done to protect the babes from the unslayed beasts. They had agreed that if every daughter of Eve should leave her bud on the altar, there wouldn't have to be any further slaughter. They reasoned, leading the lamb to this latter sort of death, assured the bloodshed would be brief, though reoccurring. You see, every animal in this jungle must find his teeth and claws. You will need it to learn to fight and accept a certain amount of scars. See, an ecosystem sounds better on the mouth than a body of matter that feeds on itself. But again, the understanding hangs solely on the perception of the man dissecting the scene. You see, too often we behold the forest wholly like it ain't made of individual trees. But the woods and their shoulds and coulds be the very reason we can never seem to put out all these fires, and why, in spite of it, we still remain so damn dense. But we shan't attach the damning story to its shadow. It implies that the whole is somehow responsible for those harrowing adaptations of the few, and that's just something we don't do. In absolution, we afford ourselves in a zero-sum game where we point blame and point fingers, ever adding accurate action to this toxic little pool. But the girl child, though, it never did escape her that the very same lake where she bathed, she watched a neighbor boy piss and a drunken man shit, and the preacher wash away all Mr. Peter James Bottom bitch's sins. Ain't no way these are the waters God intended her to wade in, she reasoned. But on the flip side of that same going, I know God is wondering what we're always waiting on. You see, the river was meant to be living proof, showing the ever-moving power of flow. So one day, she leaned over the edge for perspective and beheld her own reflection and delighted in the sight of her river sprite soul. She closed her eyes, opened her throat, and what came forth was a message blessed by the elders Oshun and Olokun, the family she thought had forgotten her name, saying, "Daughter, you are the wave makers your mother prayed for. You don't have to remain in this collected pool of these waters. It only feels safe to stay in this stagnant mess because you haven't met the ocean yet. Let go and grow on motion alone until you find the biggest, most bountiful body of water and put your name on it. Your destiny is your only dowry. Poor unpretty feeling black girl, your presence of mind is a sacred gift. Do with the two as you wish, my mighty little river sprite. You are at least that free as long as you breathe. Your body is not your only superpower. And though it's hard to heal in the heat of summer, there is retribution in taking a dive into the pools that you ain't used to. And that's that piece.
Oh,
Wow.
Thank you.
my sister. Now, you made this brother's job really hard.
I ain't lying.
Now, his job is we got about 5 minutes left, to pull this together and send us home. Thank you, my sister. Brother, I can't do it. It's on you.
Well, I'm lost for words. What I like to do, honestly, and take a minute to read this, but if it's okay with our sisters, my brother here, is that she has a short piece and let her close out, because I think the monotone, the tone, the mannerism, the flow, everything else was surely
the music
the
was in there.
membranes and the souls of everybody listening, because what we need, okay, is a little love.
Yes.
All right.
So let me read this. Life is an image of colors. Rich chocolate sisters, deep dark chocolate, smooth cocoa espresso with a taste of licorice, brown mulatto, sweeter as molasses. My sister, you resembles a mocha flavor ice cool drink, stands on the shoulders of our brothers as he washes away the sweat of his tears, born from the earth with layers of shades deep in the souls of your sweet, salty chocolate color. Why are you ashamed? Who are you hiding from? Brown as the shades of dust, brown as the darkness of blue. If you had a choice of colors, which one would you choose, my brothers? Yes. If there was no day or night, which would you choose to be right? By Curtis Mayfield. The color of the earth is rich shades, dark, crunchy, smooth, dusty sapphire, black onyx, sparkling like the sun and the moon, calling stars by their names one by one. My sister, are you the fruit of the earth or a plant without a seed? They say, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, seeping with deep flavor from inside the pores of you. Is it true? And all of life's array of blossom colors came from the richness of your soil. See the smoothness of your hair, nappy, curly, natural, kinky, and straight tone. Yet you stand on me together, the battle sets us free. Free from the dark place that blinded me from the image of ferocity I found you. Organic chocolate, hazelnut brownie with a taste of caramel, strawberries and banana flavor. Juicy fruit embodies the vanilla flavor I seek, harmonious and nourishing to me. Beyond the boundary, they move forward without looking back. Our legacy is the memories that once existed but now live in the heart of our souls.
I love that.
We only have a couple of minutes. You want to try to put something in there, or you want to just maybe you want to say some parting words? Maybe.
Okay. All right. Parting words. I'm not sure. This weekend, actually this Saturday, I'm actually going to be performing a set in Fresno, Texas, with Verbs and Vibes live. So I'll be there. If anyone would like to purchase tickets, my link is available on my Facebook and Instagram. I thank you guys so much for this opportunity and to get to speak to you guys and know you, and I wish you much success. And I will be tuning in. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Poetically Speaking, a very special program with a very special young lady. We welcome your comments, your commentary, and again, I don't know about you, Mom. I'm filled because this has been something that's very, very special. Thank you, Laretha. We thank you, Dina. Thank you, Monty. We thank you, all those who watch us on a regular basis. Again, tell your friends. Have them tell their friends, because we're going to bring this type of program to you every Tuesday and Thursday. And Ron, you can say goodnight.
Yes, and this is what it's all about, the art of conversation, the sweet smoothness on a mature level to touch each and every person's heart. So with that, we hopefully and prayerfully that you have enjoyed, because your comments was important, and we thank you for that, because it helps us to help you, to help everybody out. And our sister was truly and surely continue to be a blessing to us. The smoothness of her tone, The remnants of her heart continues to touch each and every person. So once again, thank you for joining in, and your comments is extremely important. Thank you.
Thank you and good night.